private companies, Facebook, creating a simple logo with a complete rebrand and delivering visual communication with you. Everything on the website designed us as a single design system. That's your business department. We are experts here. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166 or online at www.solwestgraphicdesign.com. Hey, listeners, are you looking for quality airplanes and stylish and specialized gear? The Tech Office is great, located at 7600 West 8 Mile Road in California. We specialize romantically, box rates, individual, Harley, propane rates, and more. And best of all, we care for you, providing all of your services. For additional information or to schedule your appointment, call 248-552-6202 or visit us on the web.
The expressed on the following show are innocent terrorists using the police facility 33 wide serious management or responsibility. Brothers and sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scriptures and not really understanding what you read? And if are you reasonably sure have ever tested that what you feel? No, someone may have different your own. The recording has started. This conference is being recorded. Scriptural Discussion is a live broadcast every Sunday at 12:03 FM 88.1 WXR and right on the call and discuss the Holy Bible. Have fun, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and the truth. So tune in for Scriptural Discussion with the Son of Man every Sunday at 12 noon or 033 FM 88.1 WXR and Comcast Cable. You can call in live on the air. 868-0342 and 868-0351. Of course, the area code 3. That's 313-868-0342 and 868-0351. And now let's go live. Scriptural Discussion. Man.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet all of you once again whose hearts hunger and thirst for truth and righteousness. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. It is customary for me to invite those who have disagreements with anything that I or the prophets of God have taught. It is my custom to let you put that forth. And so I want you who are listening, to now you can press *6 on your phone and express whatever disagreement you have with us. It is also necessary to, when you speak to people, it is very important that you speak in the language of the people that you are addressing. As Allah said, we never sent a messenger, but with the language of his people. But what the problem is that when messengers of God spoke, even though they spoke the language of their people, they did not speak with the understanding that their people had of language. That's why when the scripture says that Jesus turned water into wine, the people understood that to mean physical water into physical wine. And when Jesus was said to raise the dead, raise Lazarus from the dead, they understood that to mean a physically dead man being brought back to physical life. And the scriptures have in them a true explanation of these things, but the people who they were left with, which is all of the people of the earth, are spiritually illiterate. So Allah had to raise among you one who would recite the messages and teach you the understanding of the book. And that's what I am. The trouble with you is that you have fallen in love with wickedness. And anyone who would tell you you have to stop it, you try to hide your love for evil under unrighteous indignation. As I look at this word falsehood, by your understanding, it says unaccountable, the property of being false. A false statement, especially an intentional one. I'll give you an example. Here's a person who changed their name. Tramel Yah Yisrael. And he didn't even know how to cover up who he really was, because he left some of his old statements on his new name, under his new name. But anyway, it's Patrick Moore. But like I said, you know the fella that I dared to say something, and then I let him out of hell because I walked him into it. But so he says now, he said the Son, S-U-N, the Son of Man, is the Antichrist. And that's what he says. And so the brother Jamar told him, he said, come in and tell us why. The Son of Man said he will hear you out. He will be on the air starting at 8 p.m. Central Time tonight. The call-in numbers are, and he gave him the numbers, and I'm looking at them here. It's the right numbers. So, Tramel Yah Israel, I guess he put a silent. He spelled Israel, Y-I-S-R-A-E-L. Okay, why he? I guess that's a name, one of the Hebrew names. Um, now don't punk out on me. You leave these statements out there. I'm curious as to why you think, or why you have came to the conclusion that I'm the Antichrist. I'm curious about that. I think everybody else is too. I mean, because that's what I call all of y'all. But so so what can I say? That's the kind of people that's out there. It's amazing to me how even though people they are fulfilling what disbelievers and hypocrites are said to do. And it's right there in front of them, yet they don't see that it applies to them. But anyway, I told you ignorance. Ignorance is the worst enemy to man. It is ignorance that allows man to be deceived by the arch deceiver. You see, if people could look up ahead, if people could see what the prophets, what those whom you refer to as prophets, if they could see what the prophets saw, they would understand why the book says the head of every man is Christ. Because that's the only member of the human body that can see. The head. When you deny what the head shows you, you headed for hell. You see, that's your problem. You think you see, and you don't really see nothing. You just think you do. And the condition that the earth is in and its people is proof that you don't have any vision. Look at you. I'm the only one that actually sees and hears. And I'm the only one that's really complaining about what I see and hear. Everybody else just listening. And if it hadn't been for me, this would have faded into oblivion. I mean, I'm here to tell you that this is you living in the day of judgment. Let's see here. I want to always give everybody a chance to defend themselves against anything I say. If I speak something that you consider to be false, I want you to I want you to point it out. That alone should tell you that I'm not standing up here, at least not intentionally, lying. A lie is something that you accuse a person of when they know better and they say something contrary to the truth while they know the truth. That's what white people been doing. They knew we weren't Negroes, but they called us Negroes. They knew we wasn't black because we were cursed, but they taught us that. They knew that our people did not sell us to them. They told a half a truth. The messenger straightened it out. He said they promised us gold for our labor. But when they got us over here, there wasn't no gold. He's the liar, and he's the murderer. And if he was not a liar and a murderer, he would not allow me to get away with standing up here calling him that. This is what he said from his own mouth. And then I want you to come back and tell me whether or not, because as the messenger taught me, you see, if I was a racist, then I wouldn't be no better than he is. You could consider me to be a fool and stupid. If all I thought was that my black skin makes me a righteous man or better than white people, you could say of me that you just as stupid as he is. See, that's his main problem with me. Why do you think they come in here, they hear me teaching, and instead of being honest, they start off lying that they ain't got time, they're busy or their phone ain't working or whatnot. But they never come in here to have an intelligent dialogue with me. When has the Ku Klux Klan ever invited a black man to come and defend black people against the things that white people said about, that they were saying about us? That's the same way they did us in their court system for so many years and still doing it. You get all these white people going to put a black man on trial and claim that it's a fair trial. It's fair in that they have fair skin who trying him. He played with words on you. And then even when a black man get into the court, most of the time his lawyer is white. Because he can't hardly afford no lawyer no way. They know that. If I'm lying on them, why ain't none of them saying nothing? All he can do is try to change the subject matter. If he come in huffing and puffing and cursing, He's trying to provoke me to get into that kind of dialogue with him. Because that's all he can do. The truth is not on his side. So he can't come in here and calmly put forth a truthful argument against what I have to say. That's the one thing he know in his court. That's why when they set up the judicial system, they have what you call discovery, and you have a right to know everything that the prosecution has against you. It's called discovery. You have a right to know what their evidence is. But why? They don't care if you know what the evidence is. You know why? Because they know that there is no defense against the truth. It ain't no lie you can tell that's going to undo the truth. When you come in there, if they got your fingerprints on the weapon, they got powder stains on your clothes, they got a video camera looking at you, recording you doing this and whatnot, what you can holler, I'm not guilty, all you want. You can say, it wasn't me. You can say all that. And when you get through, the DA say, well, you want to take this deal we offering you? Or you going to force us to come in here and drop the hammer on you? I take the deal. After all that hoorah and stuff, he take the deal. And for saving them the trouble of having to put on a trial and pay a bunch of jurors and all that kind of stuff, they say, okay, now we're going to give you the least amount instead of the maximum. And then you go on about your business. You see, he ain't saying nothing to me. What you got to say? You done said as much as I want to hear from you. Here it is right here.
Tonight, video you'll only see here on Channel 2 Action News. A Cobb County police officer making some controversial comments, to say the least, during a trap.
Why am I the only one who think that this is something? Because most of you scared of white people. That's just the literal truth. So you close your eyes and your ears to him confessing that all he want to do is kill you. We say, well, you speak us up for him. Yeah, because all of them ain't got no dog in that hunt. Ain't like you. The messenger told me there are white Muslims in America, and lots of them. A Muslim is a righteous person. There's no such thing as an unrighteous Muslim. There are unrighteous people claiming to be Muslims, but you won't hear none of them come in here and tell me they're Muslim. I mean, what? Didn't I say anybody that's not following me is not a Muslim? Well, what about all the people who claim to disagree with me? Why don't you speak up? Come in here and defend yourself. Because, man, I just insulted you. If you really are a Muslim, if I'm standing up here saying that you are not a Muslim unless you are following me, if that's a lie, then I owe you $20,000. First one to claim it. Well, no takers? So now what I'm supposed to look like? It's just like you go to court. Now, if this boy thought I was really the Antichrist, he wouldn't have had to change his name to talk to me, for one thing. The other thing is, if he really thought that, he would have said that before when we spoke, and he would be in here with his evidence. It's like in court. When they call you on the docket, the judge, he will say, are the parties ready? And he will call, just like right here, Tramel Ya Yisrael. Are you ready to present your case that the Son of Man is the Antichrist? I mean, is the Son of Man here? I'm here. Is that right? Now, what does the judge do when the other party don't show up? Well, he will ask the other counsel, how do you want me to proceed? Well, I want you to find him guilty of what he accused me of. Antichrist is just another name for the tool of the devil, the devil's servant. And if he accused me of being the devil's servant, and I showed up for the hearing, and he didn't, then the devil, you resist him, and what happened? When you argue with him, he flee from you. That's what the book says. Be a Muslim and resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That's what Muslim means. It means one who submits to God. Submit yourselves, therefore, unto God. Be Muslim, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Well, I'm not the one running. Y'all the one running. And so I don't, his words just condemn him. Tramel Ya Yisrael is the Antichrist, is the servant of the devil. All right? Okay. Now, because he kept a civil tongue in his head, I don't have to cast him into hell. But he already in purgatory. So, that's the waiting room. So let's go to the next one. This is the on the replay of the high school graduation. It says, watch the 2017 Muhammad's University of the New Islam high school graduation commencement. And it gave the link. And he quotes me as saying, we, Allah and myself and my followers, want to see you, black people, governing yourselves. We want to see you educating your own children. We want to see you writing your own books to be used in your own educational institutions. We want to see you, black architectural, electrical, geological, industrial, etc., engineers, planning and building your own cities. We want to see you, black scientists, in laboratories of your own, working to discover and create new things for the benefit of our people. We want to see us building and operating our own lumber mills to turn trees into usable lumber for ourselves. We want to see us building and operating our own paper mills. We want to see us going into the earth and mining out the iron and other useful minerals. We want to see us manufacturing our own farm equipment. We want to see us building our own textile mills to produce our own clothing needs. I could go on and on. You may say, I have a good dream, but I say dreams are for sleepers. I'm not asleep. I am wide awake. A man who is wide awake does not have dreams. He has plans. So, now, all of you white scholars out there, what fault did you find in anything I just said? Everything I said I want to see my people doing, ain't white people already doing that? Now, let me show you. Like I told you, a man that thinks that his skin makes him better than you, and your skin makes you inferior to him, he just stupid. And I mean, white people got a name for them. They call them redneck. And now listen to what stupid said. His name is Kip Kusner. Replace the word black with white, and you'd be up in arms hollering about racism. And then he says, double standard? He puts a question mark behind double standard. Have you ever heard me try to condemn white people for having their own schools and teaching their own children? And matter of fact, you heard me tell you how much I admire that. Huh? I admire the Japanese people for doing that. But when we start talking about doing it, now they're upset. Now, look at this.
Fixed up. He's now on administrative duties while the department conducts an internal investigation. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie obtained the video through an open records request.
You should call. It's in your lap right there. I just don't want to put my hands down. I'm really sorry. It's wrong. Hanging up. Not just you wait for my videos. But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos people see and we hate white people get killed. Yeah.
So?
You should call. It's in your lap right there. I just don't want to put my hands down. I'm really sorry. Hanging up. Not just you wait for my videos. But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right?
That's not on the news nowhere else. It ain't on the news in nobody else's country. No, we've been over here. What they say, we just crying wolf. We just exaggerating. We teaching hate against white people. Is that what they accused us of? Then they see a white officer in uniform at a traffic stop telling another white person, don't be afraid. We only kill black people. Reassuring her that we don't kill white people. We only kill black people. How come ain't none of the other countries throwing this up in Mr. Trump's face? He's accusing everybody of terrorism when he's supporting a terrorist police force. He called Muslims terrorists, right? Of course, all of the other presidents knew better, right? You see, All of them, including him. Nothing but a bunch of cowards, man. How much courage does it take to be armed to the teeth and go out there and shoot down an unarmed person? That takes a lot of courage, huh? Pull him over, pull a woman over, and she was going fine. He didn't say, I stopped you because you were speeding. When she went to get over out of his way because he was riding her bumper. Oh, he was right there behind her. And you know how it is when we only kill black people. We better get out of his way, huh? He pulled her over, Sandra Bland, I'm talking about Miss Bland, and said he pulled her over because she didn't signal before she got over. Made his day. Then got her down there because now she trying to figure out what to do, poor thing. She got his mind in her. You know, black people in America, they got white people's minds. And just that quick, she forgot she ain't white. Even though, by all, for all practical purposes and intents, she was white. As a person thinketh, so are they. So she decided, why do I need to put my cigarette out? You don't have to have your head in my window. Now, what are you stopping me for? You didn't signal. Then the thing to him to do is, let me see your license, not put your cigarette out. Huh? But put it out or I'm going to get you, snatch your behind out that car. She still ain't woke up to the fact that she ain't white. They get her down there to the station and murder her. Teaching her a lesson. Because we only kill black people. Hey. What? Does that bother you at all? But I'm the Antichrist.
And sir, he just left the comment and said, ready for the teaching.
Now, here this man say we only kill black people, but he comes in here and tell me, a black man, that I'm the Antichrist. That's why these floods and things ain't gonna pass through black communities no more and let you slide. You deserve it too. I'm about sick of all of you. Here you ain't seen CNN, you ain't seen MSNBC, you ain't heard Mr. President Trump. Ain't nobody, why they ain't put a microphone in his face and ask him what you think about this officer saying that we don't kill nothing but black people? Mr. Trump, what you think about that? Knowing him, he probably say, hey, he's doing his job. And that'll get a hooray from the 30%. And they say 30%. But if that's all that's supporting him, then why ain't the 70% getting rid of him? So you really want to go to war against your maker, huh? All right. You started it. I mean, didn't nobody make him say that? The behind the scenes meetings, the closed door sessions, the whites only police meetings made him come out with that. The last thing he was expecting was some other white people to put it out there in the public. The other medias decided they weren't going to put it out there. But Allah said, put it out there. You don't run nothing. Not no more. Let me let you hear something else. You remember I told you that the white people, the ones who hate us because we black and think they better than us because they white. You remember I told you they was the dumbest ones, and the ones who ain't working, the ones who ain't got nothing to, I mean, they living in the greatest country on the face of the earth. America is the country of dreams. You've had Italian white people come to America and realize their dreams. You've had French Americans, all the Europeans, all of the white nations, they have people here in America that came to America dirt poor and struck it rich. Huh? This is a white man's paradise. Now, what does that say about a poor white man in America? You don't have to wonder, is he lazy? You know he lazy. You don't have to wonder if he's stupid. You know he's stupid. When ain't nothing held him back but his laziness and stupidity and being proud to be that way. If I'm lying, he can collect $20,000 if he can show me that the reason he's not able to make it is because somebody held him back. Ain't nobody held you back. Your lazy, trifling self held you back. That's why other white people don't hardly feel sorry for him. Because they ain't spiritual, you know. They ain't spiritual. The white man ain't no spiritual man. He see a lazy man, he don't feel sorry for him. Especially if he look like him. He gave him a name, you poor white trash. Why? Because in his brain, he just full of trash. He didn't even bother to ask himself, if these black people are so inferior, then why do we have to keep watching them and trying to keep them from getting educated? He ain't even had sense enough to ask himself that. He just that stupid. So that he don't burn the whole house down, because, you know, he's stupid. So they give him somebody to blame. Blame the niggas. They the reason why you ain't got nothing. They don't tell him the truth. If they told him the truth, he'd be mad as hell at them. so they give him something to be mad at. And then they get a war going somewhere and send a bunch of them off somewhere to die. So they can at least make money off of them dying. Because warfare is big business, you know. Every bomb that's dropped got to be replaced. Is that right? Costs money. Huh? Every jet that's shot down, Lockheed and all of them got to replace them things, right? And they selling them to both sides. So you know what did Iron Man say? Make your friends rich, your enemies rich, and figure out later which is which. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm the kind of person that I don't just say things. I'm ready to discuss whatever I say. Here you got a president of the greatest nation on earth going around nicknaming the heads of state of other people's country. How in the world you want peace insulting people? And he only do it because he's a bully. He won't go say that to Putin. No, he's over there kissing up to him. We'll go provoke this little island nation. What do you look like going on? That's like you bringing a great big bulldog to fight a chihuahua. Ain't nobody take you serious. Say, man, what you bringing this big old bulldog to jump on this little chihuahua? I can say this, and I can say it from inside knowledge. There ain't a nation on this earth that frightens America. As far as talking about you gonna jump on somebody, you ain't know you'll jump off too. So they have to try to get you to destroy yourself. And they can take a dummy like these rednecks running around here and get them to do that kind of stuff. An ignorant man is a dangerous man because a wise crook can manipulate an ignorant fool. People that love praise. Oh man, once your enemy find out that you like praise, that you a junkie for praise, he got your number. He'll praise you right into hell. Most of the leaders that you got now, all of them love praise. Disagree with him, he hates you. Praise him, and he love you to death. He love your dirty socks. He's just that stupid. That's one of them statements that if the shoe fit, don't tell me it's mine and it fit your feet. You know how I am about people coming in here, calling themselves puking up on me, telling me how much they like what I'm teaching and all that, and they ain't following me. What do you think, I'm stupid? Don't do that to me. I would much rather just, let's be honest with each other. A friendship that's brought about based on lies is not a friendship. True friendship must be based on truth. If I disagree with something you say, I'll say I disagree with it. If I disagree with something you're doing, I'll say I disagree with it. And that's where I want you to be with me. That way, whatever we say we do agree on, we both are being truthful. And from that, we can base building a friendship. And the things we disagree on, then we need to discuss and find out which of us is right, or maybe both of us is wrong. We don't know until we discuss it. But this is a man, he's upset with me for saying I want my people to be doing what every other people is doing. I told you that's a stupid devil. I wouldn't even put that in writing. I mean, I got it in writing here. He said, replace the word black with white, and you'd be up in arms hollering about racism. What? So it's racism for me to say I want my people to set up schools and write books to teach us. Like, I mean, his people, so he's calling what his people been doing racism. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I don't see that as racism. I see that as being independent. I see that as something that all people should want, which is to teach your own children, to propagate and promote and promote the longevity of whose civilization? Of yours. It's nothing. I don't see nothing wrong with that. See, but he, that's the one thing about you white people that I condemn. You educate your children and you lie to them. You never should have lied to them and told them that black people was inferior and that we was cursed and that the white race is supreme and superior. Because the majority of them ain't never grew out of that lie. Even though it was staring them in the face. Let me show you. I want you to see this. I want you to hear it. They didn't actually adjust the camera to make you able to see clearly the faces of everybody. I assume that was done purposely, because they could always adjust the cameras, if they wanted to. But you'll see why in a minute.
Uncle Sin's right. Hey, I'm Uncle Sin's right. How you doing? Good. You said all this, that word is wrong. Great. Christian disaster with the FBI. Right? Sorry, show you that. Where we said we are. Alright. Alright.
Now, what I'm doing, I'm slowing it down. I've slowed down the speed of it so that hopefully you can hear some of it. But this is on YouTube. This is online. This is Dylan Roof confessing to what he did. And they asked him questions about his murdering those black people in that church. They even asked him why he did it. And you know, and he's very candid about what he did. Now you just listen.
We want to talk to you about some stuff. I'm sure you probably already know that. We're going to talk to you. You know, we're hoping you want to talk to us and then tell us your story and, you know, what happened, everything, your side of the events. I mean, I know a lot of stuff's been going on, a lot of stuff's said and out there and everything.
Well, I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I mean, about what's been said.
Right, but we want to talk to you about what happened. Here's the thing, right? Before we can talk to you, we have to go through and give you your rights.
Now that is the. Can y'all understand what they're saying? What about the conference room?
Some man can understand what the man is saying, but the one who did the shooting can't understand what he's saying.
Well, he ain't said nothing yet. He simply said he didn't know nothing about what people out there were saying. But he ain't started talking yet. It's mostly those officers talking right now. So let me know if there's anything I can do to help y'all to hear it. You see, Allah has never destroyed a people or taken a nation out of authority or power that he didn't first make them know why. You know, it's just like that officer who said, we only kill black people. Do you suppose that President Obama would not have been contacted and asked to make a statement about that? You remember when they murdered Trayvon Martin? They stuck a microphone in his face, didn't they? Well, why ain't nobody put a microphone in Donald Trump's face from that station, for instance, that did this and said, hey, because they probably tried and they wouldn't talk to him. And if they didn't try, that's even worse. This is a man running around calling everybody outside. Did you ever hear him speak on Dylan Roof? Did he say Dylan Roof is a Christian terrorist? The officers that arrested him, I was told, took him to McDonald's or somewhere and got him a sandwich and some stuff. Right after they arrested him. No, you need to know why Jose ain't went nowhere. You need to know why Maria and Jose, they talking about what they gonna do when they get together. If and when they get together. And I ain't forgot about Pennsylvania. I certainly have not. What y'all doing to Dr. Cosby? I'm proud that Maxine Waters finally got some nerve up and said, I'm no longer afraid. And I'm not afraid to thank Camille and Bill Cosby for what they did for us. And if she said, is that what she said? No longer afraid. I'm glad that you're not afraid no more. I don't want none of you to be afraid to speak up for your people. Let those who terrorize us, let those who murder and mistreat us, let those who raped us, let them be afraid. Poison the whole city. And nobody said nothing. And the man's still up there. He's still the governor. So, you know, ain't no white man got no indignation to come in here and show me. You think you talking to? Like the Negro that he taught let him get away with that backy decision, the reverse discrimination and all that foolishness. You know what y'all's problem is? You want to be black because it's popular, but you want to keep the mind of a Negro. What you should have did was let the Muslim, the black Muslim, them is the ones you should have been putting in positions of authority and voting them into offices and stuff. Somebody who wasn't going to get up there and punk out and go to trembling because he up in a white man's face. But no, you send Negroes claiming to be black people up there. Well, now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm the only black man in America that can really speak out for you. Because I'm the only one in America, black man, that the white man can't make look stupid. See, fear is a mind killer. They taught you that on the movie Dune, and he wasn't lying. The minute you get choked up with fear, fear can paralyze you. Stop your thought process. Worrying about what he gonna do to you if you say this. You can't be thinking like that. I ain't worried about what he gonna do to me if I say what I say. I'm worried about what Allah gonna do to me if I don't say what he give me to say. He told me to speak with his words. Read the book. He said, open up the book, read it, and go and speak with my words to them. Now you listen to this. This is Dylan Roof. And if you zoom in on it a little bit, they might can read what you know, if you can read that fast. they got, I got the one with the caption on it. But I'll tell you this, y'all can, if you pay good attention, I think that I got the sound pretty good quality. If you listen, you can hear what's being said.
All right, and so what we're going to do, he's going to read them to you. I'll basically explain them to you and go through each one. But We'll get it. You do have a record, it's, all right. Now, you can always decide anytime to exercise these rights, and anytime you want, you can say, oh, you know what, I don't really want to talk no more, that's fine. You have to have an attorney present with you prior to during any questioning. If you have a higher attorney, will be appointed to represent you prior to during any questioning. So we'll go through this form right here. Basically, it's a form that they have up in North Carolina, and this says, hey, that we can talk to you and you can talk to us. And we can just go through here, figure out what happened, where we're at, and all that, okay?
The police officer, the federal agent, okay, whose name appears below, told me that he's with the FBI, so I'm agent stands for myself to explain to you, okay? And when I question you about the following offenses, all right, which are, so before you ask any questions about what we want to speak to you about, we want to make sure it's clear that you have the following rights, okay? You don't have to answer any questions or say anything, do you understand that? Can you place your initials right next to that saying you understand that?
Just two initials?
Yeah, your first initial and your last. There you go. Alright? Anything that you say can be used as evidence against you in a criminal case. Do you understand that? Can you put your initials there, please? Alright. You have the right to speak to an attorney before or after questioning, or have an attorney present with you during questioning. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, one could be appointed for you. And made one would be attained for you. Do you understand that? If you're willing to discuss the offense under investigation or without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop questioning at any time or speak to an attorney before answering any other questions. Do you understand that? Put your initials there. Alright. So I'd like you to do, can you read this for me? I want to make sure you understand that.
You want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, read that out loud, this little paragraph right there.
I have read the statement of my rights and I understand what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand that no what I am doing, no promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me by anyone.
Okay. Having all these rights in mind, you wish to speak to us?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Can you sign your name right there, please? Very good. Still here? You're from South Carolina, right? You live there your whole life? Where'd you go to school?
In Lexington, South Carolina. White Knoll High School, but then I went to Dreer High School in Columbia. But then I dropped out of it. I went to online school, and then I dropped out of online school. And then I just got a GED, that's it.
Yes, GED.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Now, I want you to pay good attention, and you will discover that it's no difference in an uneducated or a poorly educated white man or white boy than a poorly educated black one. All of them still do a lot of I told you, he the original Negro. He the one made a Negro out of us. Now, he grew up in America. If most white people don't have sense enough to realize that they the ones born with a silver spoon in their mouth. All they have to do is get up and go to work, man. But I'll tell you something. The way of a criminal mind. Do you think a dope dealer, A man who wants to get rich off of alcohol, for instance, do you think he care who he sell it to? If your money is green, so that's why the same with drugs and everything else. You got a whole lot of people running around claiming they play on your ignorance and your stupidity and make you think. It's just like, that was a time when I thought like Dylan Roof. That's how I understand where he coming from. Because you get around people, they can make you think that just because a person's skin is different than yours, that makes them your enemy. That lasted with me for a hot minute until I started listening to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad instead of listening to a bunch of people who claim to be following him. I remember when a brother said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he was walking and a devil, a white person, greeted him. Assalamu alaikum. He said, wa alaikum salam. And if they looked at the messenger as though he did something wrong, he said, well, brother, if he didn't mean it, then I didn't either. You know, I mean, but whenever you are given a greeting, what difference do it make if it's a wish for peace? What difference do it make whose mouth it came out of? Does that forbid you to return one equal or better? That's what Prophet Muhammad taught. That if you are greeted with a greeting, return one equal to it or one better. That means if somebody cuss at you, don't do nothing equal to that. You say something better than that. Do you understand? He covered it all. Allah is mighty wise. Now you listen to Dylan Roof and these officers that that's talking to him, and he's gonna get really deep, and they're gonna go deep with him. So I want you to hear these things. I want you to see it and hear it.
What work do you do?
I don't have a job right now, but the only job I've ever had was just doing landscaping, like lawn maintenance, I guess. That's pretty much what it was.
Okay. And you have the right to stop questioning anytime or speak to an attorney before answering any other questions. Do you understand that? The transition's there. Alright. What I'd like you to do, can you read this for me? I want to make sure you understand it.
You want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, read that out loud, this little paragraph right there.
I have read the statement of my rights and I understand what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me by anyone.
Okay. Having all your rights in mind, you wish to speak to us?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Can you just sign your name right there, please? Very good. Still here? You're from South Carolina, right? You lived there your whole life? Where'd you go to school?
In Lexington, South Carolina. White Knoll High School, but then I went to Dreer High School in Columbia. But then I dropped out of it. Then went to online school, and then I dropped out of online school. And then I just got a GED, that's it.
You got your GED.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of work do you do?
I don't have a job right now, but the only job I've ever had.
Don't have a job right now. What did I tell you? Only thing that he got to make him feel like he's something is his hatred for black people. He's superior, you know. Then when he do tell him about his job, he said landscaping. In other words, yard work. You mean that's the best you could come up with your superior white self in a country that's controlled by you? Dropped out of school. Every school in America is open to any white person that want to go. You just not. This is the man that went in there and murdered a bunch of black people. He was being superior. And guess who taught it to him? His fathers and them. He been watching the police shoot down black people and get away with it. He watched Trayvon Martin get murdered. And the George Zimmerman got pat on the back for it. But then if that's the way it is, then what's to prevent him from doing it and getting away with it? He gonna as good as say that.
I was just doing landscaping, like lawn maintenance, I guess. That's pretty much what it was.
Okay. And what work did you do with your mom or your dad? Or?
Yes. Eastover.
Eastover? I know where Eastover is. Yeah. Out in North Road?
Right.
Okay. Was that where your mom or your?
Well, that's my mom's boyfriend's house. But, I live there.
Okay.
But lately, I've been living, my dad's house too. So.
Okay. Where's he live?
He lives right in Columbia, right downtown.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Well, can you tell us about what happened last night?
Whoa. Yeah, I went to that church in Charleston. And, I did it.
You did what? I know it's tough sometimes to say it.
It's not that I don't want to say it because I don't want to make myself seem guilty. I just don't really like saying it.
But sometimes we have to face those things, the realities.
We don't want to put any words in your mouth. That's why.
Right.
That's why Agent Stansbury is asking what it exactly is that you did do.
Well, I killed him. Well, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how many people.
So you shoot him?
Yes.
What kind of gun did you use?
A Glock 45.
Okay. Was that your gun or?
Yes, I bought it from.
Which gun store did you buy that from?
Shooter's Choice.
Shoot in West Columbia, Shooter's Choice?
Well, it's in Columbia, I'm not sure which
West. They got a gun range there?
Yes, I never used it, but yes, they have one.
Okay, so How long ago did you purchase that, the weapon?
It's July?
Yeah. No, it's June. We're June.
Oh, it's June, okay. Probably like 2 months ago.
About 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So you just turned 21, right?
Right.
So it was like did you have a sweet birthday or?
No, I bought it when I turned 21.
Yeah. So that's it. So all right. So going back to the church, you pulled out the gun and you shot, started shooting people, or how?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, so you know how many people you shot?
If I was gonna guess, five, maybe. I'm really not sure. Exactly.
Yes, right. Well,
5, I'm not sure.
did you say anything to him before or after or during?
No, I didn't say anything to them before anything.
Before. What about after?
Well, I think like during, I said like don't talk to me or something like that. You know.
Like why you were shooting?
Well, they're like in the middle. You know. I mean, I didn't really talk to them.
How long were you at the church before you actually, before you pulled your weapon out? You said yourself you shot, you think maybe 5 or so people. How long were you at the church before you decided that you were going to do that?
Well, I just went in the church, and then I sat down with them for like maybe 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
It could have been 20, it could have been 10, but I think it was probably around 15.
Were they having a meeting or something? Or?
No, this was a Bible study class.
So you knew the Bible study class was going to happen?
Yes, because I went there before and asked them.
Okay, so you've been to the church before?
Well, not in it.
But outside, so when you have Bible study or?
Well, yeah, I just saw somebody get into.
He knew wasn't nobody in there gonna have no gun but him. You know, a coward, he ain't never just gonna go shoot. I mean, if he wanted to go shoot up some black people, how come he didn't go someplace where it's some bad acting black people? Huh? Because he was scared. He wanted to go murder some people that he knew wasn't going to be able to shoot back and all that kind of thing. I told you, that's what that racist mind is. He always go and find somebody. He get a crowd. If he go after a brave man, he got to have him a real crowd with him. How many of y'all saw Django? You remember when them boys came to get him after they had killed the bounty? You know, got the fellas that was chasing the bounty, and they got a big posse together going after them 2 beds, talking about what they was gonna do to them. And the minute them men fought back, all of them took off running, didn't they? You know, I mean, I'll show you another example. There ain't no military minded man afraid, walking around here afraid of no terrorists in America. Because they know they can get their rump. But you get somebody who ain't never been in the military, and now you got somebody who ain't been in the military, and he got everybody all spooked up behind some little rocks in their pocket. People got America talking about building a wall. We got to stop people from traveling. Oh, that's what that was designed. That's what terrorism is designed for, to frighten somebody who's a coward. That's to try to put fear in a brave man's heart. Because once you start acting on fear, you start reacting rather than acting. And once people can make you reactionary, then you got a problem. That's why, I mean, look at something that President Kennedy said. He said, we must never negotiate out of fear. But we must never fear to negotiate. But that's a wise statement. It's just like the things that you hear me talk to white people, I talk about them. And at the same time, I try to negotiate peace with them. But it's not because I'm afraid of them. You must don't understand what the book said. It said, Son of man, be not afraid of them. When Allah decrees a matter, he only says to it what? Be. He told me, be not afraid of them. He took the fear away from me. Now I can speak to them like a man talks to people, and I can offer them salvation without being afraid. If they turn it down, I can tell them, well, you brought this on yourself. Don't tell me I didn't give you a way out. You just was too ignorant and stupid to take it. So, now you listen to this. Now they got him talking, right?
They're going to ask me.
When was that?
Oh, that was like, that was probably, I don't know.
Yeah, well, right before, when you pulled out your gun and started to shoot, or right before, did you remember what you said, or if you said anything to the people? Because I mean, you said like we're on the gun and all.
Right, that's what I did. I didn't say anything to them before it happened.
Did they?
Not even one word. I didn't say anything.
Did they see or anybody react to you as you pulled the gun out, or were you already shooting before anything was happening?
I mean, they reacted after I shot.
Yeah. I guess my question, and it might have been a bad question, I was just trying to, if I pulled the gun out and everybody saw it, people might start to run or whatever.
No, it was very fast. It was not like I was like, it was like quick motion.
So did you show were you sitting down and you did it, or did you stand up or what?
Yeah, I was sitting down the first.
Can you show me like what you did? I mean,
yeah, it was just like,
did like this or
it's good.
and just start shooting it?
Yeah.
And we'll go back and I'll ask you some more questions.
Yeah, I had it in the bag.
It was in the bag.
The bag's there. I dropped it.
Yeah, you dropped it in
Black. It was like the thing you can buy, the sporting goods thing, for military people who come through whatever, the vest or whatever. But I just put it in my belt, and I had all my magazines and the gun in there. When I walked in the church, this thing was right on me, in front of me, And I was like, oh my God, they're going to see it, And honestly, they did, because I mean, this thing is big, it's heavy, because it's got, 7 magazines, and I put 11 bullets in each magazine. They can hold 13, but I didn't want to be jammed, like they could jam or anything like that. So, but anyway, it's still really heavy. Anyway, they saw it, but I just sat down because I guess they just didn't say anything. And then I was sitting there and I was like, just thinking about whether I should do it or not. And that's why I was sitting there for 15 minutes, just like, because I know I could have just walked out, because they didn't say anything to me about the thing on my belt. So I could have walked out, and that's what I was just thinking, But then I just, like, I don't know, it's not, I want to say spur of the moment, but I just finally decided I had to do it. And that's pretty much it.
Well, that goes to the next question. Why did you have to do it?
Oh, I had to do it.
How long? I mean, that's what I don't know.
Well, I had to do it because somebody had to do something. Because, black people are killing black people every day on the streets. And they rape white women, 100 white women a day. That's the FBI statistic in 2005. That's 10 years ago. It's not even more now. Who knows?
Let's see this. Some of you white folks that's listening that say the FBI statistics show that 100 white women a day is raped by black men. Where's that? You see, that's the kind of lies that they feed people like him. Then if he asks them, well, where's the statistics? He said, well, they ain't gonna show this on the news. Well, if they ain't gonna show it on the news, where'd you get it from? But they know you stupid. Black people killing white people? What country you been living in? How many white people been killed by black people this year? Come on, some of y'all, I know you got the statistics. And how come it ain't been on the news? You hear what that fool sitting there saying? Now, that's how they made a murderer out of him. Remember I warned them to tell their children the truth? They sold the wind, and it turned into a whirlwind of murder. Okay? Just listen.
It sounds unrealistic, but you break it down, that's 2 to state. It's really not unrealistic at all. Okay. The fact of the matter is, what I did is so minuscule to what they're doing to white people every day, all the time. And just because that doesn't get on the news doesn't mean it's not happening. Everybody knows that the news is biased for black people. Pretend it's not, but we know it is.
Dylan, you said you had to do this because.
Did you hear that? Everybody knows the news is biased for black people. We pretend it's not, but we know it is. Now, he's giving you a tour through his wicked mind. Everything that they are actually guilty of, he is projecting it onto us. The white news media biased for black people. That's what he's saying. But in reality, we know what it really is, huh? All they did is everything they're guilty of, they projected onto us and onto a fool like him. And that's with all youngsters, especially those with immature minds. They believe what the people that they trust that look like them tell them. That's why the Holy Quran said to me, it says, if an unrighteous man brings you news, look carefully into it, lest you harm a people and then be sorry for what you did.
was brave enough to do anything about it. You know, back in the late 80s and the early 90s, you know, we had skinheads and stuff like that. There's no skinheads left. There's no KKK. KKK never did anything anyway. You know.
So basically, you were trying to make a statement or prove a point on behalf of the white race.
A man say the KKK and the skinheads, they ain't, and the KKK never did nothing nowhere. In other words, they ain't did enough to us. Huh? Now, if what he was saying about us was true, of killing white men, killing white people, and raping over 100 white women a day, you could understand why he think that should happen. But he don't realize that he's creating an indictment against himself and his people. Because if he feels that we need to be murdered, if that was what we was doing, that's what he did to us. And by his judgment, we should want to kill all of them. But we're not killers. We're not murderers. That's why Allah said he had to step in. He said, I have seen the affliction of my people. I have heard their cries because of the slave masters. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hands of the Americans. They're not going to say the Lord that brought them up out of Egypt. They're going to say the Lord who brought them up out of the North country, out of North America. That Lord is the one that liveth. I am he that liveth and was dead. And Maria and Jose and Katia and all of them and the earth itself is just the tip of the iceberg of the backup that I got. And you're going to soon see it. But first, you got to know why. What did they tell him at the beginning of that? You understand that anything you say can and will be used against you can be used against you in a court of law, right? What did the scripture say? Every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account of it in the day of judgment. Your words, for by your own words you'll be justified, and by your own words you will be condemned. That's right there in the book. Well, who's going to hold you account? The Son of Man. For the Father hath given me authority to execute judgment, because I am the Son of Man.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in a way, I guess.
Did somebody else, did you talk to people or anybody in particular about this prior to making the decision to do this?
No.
So you came about this decision solely by yourself?
Right.
And did you, what's the reason why because you said you never been in that church before.
Right.
But you said as you were driving by once, and correct me if I'm wrong, you saw somebody getting into the car. So
I was walking.
You were walking. And you saw somebody getting into the car, so you asked about Bible study, is that correct?
No, I just asked him, I said, when is the church service? You know, and then she told me the church service in the Bible study or something like that, the times or something.
Is that an African American woman or what?
Yes. Well, this is an African Methodist Episcopal. Is that what AME stands for? I think that's what it stands for.
So that's when you chose that church?
Oh, yes.
You were looking for
African Americans. Right. the black people there.
So you didn't want to.
All right, let me check and find out.
Right, you just wanted to black people.
Right.
What was the reason why? So you've been your dad's for a while, you stayed with your mom for a while.
Is the conference room still on? Are you monitoring the conference room? Why people got to call me and you sitting there monitoring? You all hold for a minute. I got to get the conference rooms back. Devil cut the line off and left it open. He's upset. He got good reading, but he ain't upset as he gonna be. Now he don't want to let the phone hang up. All these devils, I told you. He can't do nothing but try to disrupt everything.
Access code accepted. There are 19 participants in the conference. The recording has started.
You all hold.
This service is provided. Access code accepted. You are the only participant in this conference. All callers are muted. All callers are unmuted. All callers are muted and they can unmute themselves.
Okay, you all hold on. Okay. You let Jamar monitor them, that other thing, and you make sure that you let me know when them conference room ain't registering. Because we don't need to, that's all the devil can do. He can disrupt the meeting with the shutting the line off and all that kind of foolishness. And, he gonna pay for all that. Don't you worry. Everything he do to annoy me, he gonna wish like hell he had never done it. You know what he was told to do when I came? Stop his work. Allah promised to put you to death for working in my time. So just keep on. Keep on. You're gonna visit the doctor one day soon, and you're going to discover that it's all over but the crime. Yeah. If I'm lying on you, unmute your phone and say what lie I told. All I'm doing is showing you your own history. You kept a record. Does man think no one sees him? Or that no one hears him? Has he not eyes? Has he not ears? Then man is sufficient as a witness against who? Against himself. Who is that got their phone off mute? Sir? We'll mute them. Look, I assume the station, we back up on the station. Brother Derek? Are we back on the station? I don't want to keep going if now I
You're on the station.
all right.
Was the reason why you chose Charleston as your location? Why that particular area there?
Well, the reason I chose Charleston is because, you know, I like Charleston. You know, it's really nice down there. It's a historic city, you know. You know, at one time, I think it had the highest ratio of black people to white people in the whole country. When we had slavery, but, you know, and then the other reason is just because that A&E church was historic too. You know, it was an historic A&E church. I mean, I guess that's pretty much the reason.
Well, how did you find out about that A&E church in Charleston? Did you research it?
Yeah, I just looked up black churches
on the internet.
Yeah.
See, what they're doing now is determining whether he did that on the spur of the moment or whether he was thought about it, premeditated. You know, he sit down and thought over what he was going to do, just like checking to see what time the services start and all that kind of thing. That wasn't no spur of no moment thing. He planned that. But just listen.
Where'd you do that?
There's a website called SCIway, like SCIway.net. You know, it's got a bunch of stuff about it.
See, I want to say this to you too. You'll notice they tell us that it ain't but a few people listening to us in the conference room. Then why they wasting their time trying to cut us off since ain't nobody interested in what I'm sharing with them? They don't want nobody to hear me. When the same thing happened to them who's outside of here that happened to all these white people who was living around here plotting and scheming against me, you're going to learn to leave me alone. They know we not no threat to them physically. How in the world is a group or a bunch of unarmed people a threat to somebody that's armed to the teeth? Now, what he would like to do is murder every one of us if Allah would let him. But he just won't let him. We only kill black people. That's what the officer said, didn't he? Did he bite his tongue? Did he act like he hadn't slipped a slip of the tongue? Or did he say it a couple of times? Reassuring her. We don't kill white people. We only kill black people. What did Dylan Roof say that black people was doing to white people? Didn't he say we was killing them? But in reality, what is the real truth? They've been murdering us, haven't they? Okay. Just listen.
Okay. So you were on the internet to find black
churches, and you saw Charleston had a high black population. And
Right, well, I've seen that in Columbia too. There's black churches in Columbia. It's just, I don't know, they just want to go to Charleston, I guess. I don't really know.
Oh, but that church was a historical church. It's been around a long time.
Right.
That was good. I guess when I asked them, were you trying to make sure you were sending a message out? You wanted to send a message.
Right.
You wanted people to know, hey, I gotta stop this, or what, right? That was your message.
Yeah, and that was right by downtown, right by King Street.
So, when you first walked in and they were having a Bible study, did anybody even acknowledge or say anything or say,
yeah, they gave you a sheet.
So they love you, these people.
Right, but I didn't, like I said, I didn't say anything to them. They just handed me the sheet pretty much. There wasn't that many people there. There was like 8 people there.
So when you walked in, there were 8 people. Was it in the main sanctuary? Was it in what do you recall when you walked in, there were 8 people, or were they all positioned? Was it
just around like tables?
Around tables?
Yeah. It wasn't in the sanctuary.
Okay. So it was around tables, and where did you position yourself? Were you in front of them? In the midst of them? Were you in back of them? To the side of them? Do you recall?
Well, there's like a table here and a table here, and I was sitting over here. Most of the other people were over here.
Can you draw that out for me? Would you mind doing that? Just.
I can if you want.
Yeah, just so I have a better understanding. Just like when you walk in, just show me like where the tables were. Okay.
And there's another one table.
If you can do like little circles to indicate where the people were through best your recollection.
Okay. There's, like I said, there's the people like over here. Maybe like this. And then I was at this table.
So put an X where you were. Was there anybody else at that table with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is, that's pretty, I don't know, that's probably not I don't know.
Sure.
That's not the right number, but I'm just trying to give you an idea.
Right.
This is the door.
So you walked in, and you
Right, and I was over here, and they gave me a sheet.
little sheet, and you said you put your bag down on the ground. Is that what you said?
Oh, no.
You got the bag on?
Yeah, the bag was on.
Okay.
I dropped the bag afterwards, like as I was leaving.
I got you.
So you had the bag on you. It's about when you finally thought, no, I've got to do this. I've got to, you came here to do it, and you told yourself you had a thought about leaving, right?
Yes, I did.
But then you said, no, I'm here, I got to do it.
Right.
And so you pulled your gun out of the bag. How many magazines did you have in your bag?
8.
Yeah, 8.
But one was in the gun.
Yeah, so you got
7 in the bag.
7 in the bag. Okay. So how many times did you reload?
All the time.
So you went through all 8 magazines?
Yes. No. Actually, no. I went through 7 magazines, and I took 1 magazine with, which is still there.
And where's the gun now?
Well, it wasn't my car in there, right?
Well, there's a gun. It got loaded, one magazine. So you shot through that. Essentially, yes, you put like 10 or 11 bullets in each magazine. Right. So the gun wouldn't malfunction, the misfeed or whatever, right? And so you reloaded, you shot and reloaded 7 times, or am I right? One of the magazines, well, reloaded, yeah, because the last one you took with you. You shot. One that was in there, shot. Went through 6 more magazines shooting, and then reloaded. But by that time, people that were already down, did you walk up and shoot them that had already, went to the fellows?
See, it was sort of complicated, because they were all, like, under the tables, you see what I'm saying? It's not like I was, like, going around shooting people that were already dead or anything like that. It's just, when I shot a magazine, it's like I just go, you see what I'm saying? Like, at one person, you see what I'm saying?
So when you started shooting, I guess, you said you were so quick shooting, like maybe they didn't even see where it was coming from.
Right, they all the shots.
And they all go under the table.
Right. Everybody knew.
Everybody. And then you went around the tables to shoot.
No, not exactly. Because There's some people that I didn't shoot. I think there's 2 people that I didn't even shoot at all. Like one woman was over here. I didn't even shoot her at all. Because she was like looking at me and stuff. Well,
so you didn't shoot that woman when she was looking at you. But then actually, it's hard to shoot somebody who's looking at you, right? I mean,
it's hard to shoot somebody anyway.
Right. But the other people, so were they shooting in the back or just wherever they were, however they were?
Right, just however they were laying, I guess.
Like multiple times. So the first man is going to come in, you go ahead and just start shooting. You go through that ring. Everybody does on the table. You then reload the magazine, you like just get out and start going around, just people on the table just shooting.
Yeah, I was just sort of pacing around, because I was like freaking out a little bit too, there was pauses in between, thinking about, what I should do and stuff. But I guess, in a way, you could say that's what I was doing.
But did anybody try to run or?
No, see, I thought everybody was going to try to run out the door, but nobody did. They all went to the table.
And nobody charged you to try to stop you? All right, and we'll come back more. So you looked at you, the one woman you didn't shoot at all, she looked at you. And there was another person who said you didn't shoot at all. Was that a woman or a man or?
Yeah, I think it was a woman.
Okay. Did she look at you too or?
No, she wasn't.
Why didn't you shot her?
She might have got shot. I'm not saying she didn't get shot, but I'm saying I didn't aim at her and shoot.
Okay. Was there a reason why you didn't aim at her and shoot?
No, I can't really say a reason.
Okay, so after you shoot, do you leave all your magazines laying on the ground?
Yes.
Except you put a fresh one in, so your 8th magazine you load.
Right.
So you leave the bag there, you've got the gun. What do you do next?
Well, then I leave.
Right. Did you go out the door and okay, and where did you go to? I mean, where's your car? Where did you park there?
Right.
Just out on the street? Or just in a parking lot?
Literally right by the store.
So you're in a parking space. So this is a street parking right out here?
No. They got a gate. And then they got parking space.
So you went into the gate and parked?
Yes.
And then got out, right by the door, walked in, and walked out. Would you mind initialing this? And right over the door right there.
Initialing this?
Well, this is yours so later because you got this me. I mean, just right over the door right there.
You try to initial like right above where you
I don't know if I said initial.
That's fine. That's okay. You don't have to. That's fine. But anyway, so you go ahead and get in your car, and you leave. So where do you go?
Well, to be honest, I was in absolute awe that there was nobody out there after I had shot that many bullets. I was like, oh my God, what are these cops doing? They're not even really doing their job. If you hear how many shots, I don't know how many shots that was. What is it? 7 times 11. 77. There's not even a cop outside. So obviously, when I walked out that door, I peeked out the door. So I thought there was going to be somebody there ready to shoot me, you know what I'm saying? So, that's really why I had this magazine. It's not to shoot cops, it's so I can shoot myself. You see what I'm saying? When I saw a cop.
So if the law enforcement showed up, you would like this.
Yeah, I wasn't going to ever shoot a cop, I was going to shoot myself. But anyway, like I said, there wasn't a cop suit. I just got in my car and then I just drove out of Charleston, onto the interstate.
To 26. Like interstate going back to Columbia?
You would think it was in that direction, but I didn't go back to Columbia.
Where'd you go to?
Charlotte.
So you drove up 26 to, did you drive up the interstate the whole way to Charlotte?
No.
What was the reason you chose to drive to Charlotte?
Well, I just didn't want to go back to Columbia, and I just, like I said, I was feeling all that I even was driving it all, even got away.
Sure.
So I just hate the place.
So you didn't expect to survive.
Oh, no.
So, okay, so we'll go back to where you was at. I had some more questions getting to that point. Well, is it at least the clothes you were wearing last night?
Yes.
So those are the Timberland boots and the black pants. Did you have a jacket or hoodie on or something?
Yeah. No, I had a mostly shirt.
Where is it? Hold it. Where's that now? It's in your car. Okay, so this is those you were. In a session, we'll come back from there. So I'm just gonna kind of recap. You pick the A&E church out, the African American Episcopal Church. It's a historic church been around a long time. It's a black church. You knew there'd be black people there. Probably not any white people there. Right? You did not want to kill any white people. You went there with the intent to kill black people in retaliation for what other black people have been doing in the United States. That's why you went, right? And so, and to make a point, right? I don't know who to call it. I mean, what is it's used, sometimes we use it for political or revolutionary or
I guess it could be considered
political. So, is it safe to say, you know, you don't like black people?
Well, I don't like what black people do.
Okay, that's fair. What a lot of people is a race do, right? Is that what you're saying? Or in America, or the whole world, or like
In America and Europe, there's a whole bunch of black people in Europe now doing the same things.
so what you did, I mean, this shooting was all about because they were black. It wasn't. I mean, that's why. I mean, I know because, and let me make sure I'm clear on this. You already said, if it wasn't black people in that church, you would have never walked in there and shot. I mean, it was because of your belief, your understanding of what black people in America and the world are doing to society, the crimes and everything else. And you wanted to, it was retaliation or
Right, well, honestly, I realize that these people, you know, they're at church, you know, they're not criminals or anything. That's like, because the criminal black people kill innocent white people every day.
So what was your point then? What point were you trying to make? Like you said right there, these people were in church, they were innocent.
Right.
But what was the point of targeting them?
Because I just knew that would be a place where there would be, you know, at least, you know, a small number of black people, you know, in one area.
Yeah.
You know, I thought about it once, like a black festival or something like that. They got security, so if you got to win for the day, you know, you can't do it whenever you're ready.
So we're understanding you correctly. You specifically did your homework, obviously, because you were quoting statistics earlier. You did research, and you specifically chose an area where there would be all African Americans there. Is that correct?
are you in any type of like earlier you made and you mentioned like the neo-Nazis.
Yes. I wish there were.
So you're not in any groups like that?
No.
Do you have other associates or friends that are, no, let me back up. Would you consider yourself a white supremacist? And sometimes that's hard. But the white people are superior.
White nationalists. White supremacists.
What's your definition of the two then? You're saying you're not a white supremacist, you're a white nationalist. What's in your mind?
I do consider myself a white supremacist, sure. And white people are superior. That's what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, right? You know, the white race is superior to all other races. And so you're
No, I don't think there's, like, for example,
You didn't I tell you that's what they was? That's all he got. That's all he got to hang his hat on is his skin. You know, I mean, I'm standing up here telling you these things, and then not long after that, I'll let you hear it come from them. He haven't accomplished anything in a country where he could have accomplished whatever he willed to. Whatever his supreme mind would lead him to. And all his supreme mind led him to was to cut yards in a part-time job and is sit down and conjure up lies to justify the murder that's in his wicked heart. Surfing the internet for a bunch of lies. There's a whole lot of lies on the internet. Why you think when you call these people out or invite them to come in and defend what they say, they don't show up? Because they are a bunch of liars. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. Because there is no truth in him. Show me where the black man is going around this country killing up a bunch of innocent white people. Where? Where he get that from? Surfing the net. Lying. So, they got to pay. They got to answer. That's why Maria. That's why Jose. That's why earthquakes. And everywhere where he is, thinking he got a safe haven, you getting ready to get ran out of there. You get yourself on back over here and face what you got coming.
You see Asian people, they got higher IQs than white people. I don't have a problem with it. That's just the facts.
So the white supremacists, it's only to certain races?
Right. Well, look, white people are superior to blacks, Hispanics, and then you got white Hispanics. So, for Indians, Arabs, Southeast Asians, only other races probably, that are equal to white people would be like East Asians, like Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, like that.
But as a white supremacist, you still think the white race is superior to East Asians, even though they have a higher IQ? You said the higher IQ than Caucasians.
In general, yes. Because we've invented a lot more stuff than them. Because they're good at improving on our inventions.
Sure. But in your mind, the white race is the dominant race.
No, I don't think the white race is the dominant race. I wish it was. I think it should be.
Do you think, like, what you did last night, do you think that helps to maybe, are you trying to start a revolution to where other people say, hey, it's time to stand up, and if everybody does this?
If I'm not delusional, I don't think, if it's something like what I did could start like a race war or anything like that, But
why would you like that? I mean, would that help?
Well, race war would be pretty terrible. People don't all the time. But, I'd rather just, just be able to like reinstate segregation or something like that, without there having to be a race war. But, there's not going to be a race war eventually.
It's just segregation, right? I mean, it's all.
That would be okay with me for right now, but like I said, that's certainly realistic. Black people aren't just going to get themselves, go back into segregation. Not that segregation was bad, it wasn't.
How long have you thought this way? I guess my question is, was there ever a time where you...
Right, well, I'm telling you, the first thing that, I would say woke me up, would be the Trayvon Martin case. That was a while back.
Right.
What was it, 2 years ago? And, I kept hearing about this kid, and like, eventually I decided to, look his name up, just type it in Google, you know what I'm saying? And then I read the Wikipedia article about Trayvon Martin. And I couldn't understand what the big deal was, you see what I'm saying? And then, for some reason, after I read that, I typed in, for some reason it made me type in the words black on white crime. And that was it, ever since then.
So prior to that, you really didn't think too much about black and white relations or white and black relations.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, if you live in South Carolina, there's so many black people here. Every white person in South Carolina probably has at least a little bit of racial awareness, naturally, because there's so many black people, but it's superficial, you see what I'm saying? There's no real understanding behind it.
Right. So basically, after the Trayvon Martin incident, you said it woke you up, and you did a little bit of research. Right. After you researched that, and you started looking at, you said black and white crime, is that correct? So what happened after that? If you could, just carry me through you studied that, or there were other research topics that you looked into?
Well, then I found out, like I said, what was happening in Europe. In a lot of ways, it's even worse over there than it is here. London's only 60% white. You got so many Muslims over there in Europe, they're being swamped. There's going to be a race war in Europe, too, I bet. France, they don't even take demographics.
Well, on this instance, did you share, were any of your views shared by any of your friends or anything? Did you ever talk to any of them about it?
No.
Did you have a phone, a cell phone or anything?
I don't even have so.
How do you communicate?
I don't.
So if your dad, someone get hold of you, would they get hold of you?
I just call her house.
Yeah, who's your best friend? Or Jeff? You know that named Joey Weeks?
Yes.
Are y'all friends?
Yes.
Did he know anything about you wanting to do this? Did you talk to him about it? What you want to do? Okay. Does he share some of the same views you do? Some of our friends think we hang with people that share because that's like-minded people.
But I've never, talked about race around, other people and stuff like that because they probably won't agree with me. See what I'm saying?
So, or what about at home?
No.
Yeah,
I said they wouldn't like it, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like your dad didn't know.
Oh, no. They wouldn't like it.
You're right. They would say.
Did you ever bring that topic up to your dad or your sister or anybody, or grandparents? Did you ever just talk about it and no? Never?
Well, going back to the last night again at the church, do you know about how many men or women were there? Or
right. 8.
If I told you that someone there said, when you started shooting right when you did it, that you said, I have to kill black people.
I didn't say that.
You don't remember saying that?
No, I didn't. I probably said something similar to that in the middle of it.
Yeah, okay, I'll let you start right. If you start shooting, you just pull out, start shooting, because you want you to jump on. Right, because they saw someone might have tackled you or whatever before you got to them. You thought about that. And did you practice?
No, I didn't practice or anything like that.
Did you ever go to the gun range or out the country to practice shooting?
Well, I've shot my gun before.
Where would you go?
I was shot at my house.
And east of it.
Right, because that's outside.
Yeah, it's in the country. Where did you get the kind of bullets did you use?
Just the 45 bullets.
So did you try to find special bullets?
Yeah, there were hollow points, but they were just cheap.
Did you get those instead of all for any reason? Or, did you even think about it? Or just that's what you had?
Well, no, I just saw them and it sounded good.
So you bought the bullets. So walk me through this. When did you decide? All right, I know you went to the church before you found out that church meeting was on Wednesday. So at some point you then decided, okay, you have your gun, right? You bought that. Here's all that. You go to the store and say, all right, I'm gonna buy these. I gotta get the bullets for the job.
No, I didn't have bullets. I had bullets weeks ago.
Okay, but did you buy that? Did you buy the bullets with the intent of doing going to kill black people? If you're the gun store, you're like, yeah, these bullets right here, these are the bullets I need to get.
Well, I guess so. You know, I mean, I could have used them just to shoot them too. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But you wanted, I mean,
right. I mean, I had to have enough bullets. Right. You know, to fill the magazines, sure.
And the hollow ones. You know, gun bullets that are known to stop people. I mean,
right.
I mean, just like we carry bullets that are, you know, we want to carry good bullets. And so you thought that, I'm just saying, did you think about it? I mean,
yeah.
Okay. Then where did you buy the bullets there? Just one word. Which one?
Well, actually, I bought them at different Walmarts, you know. Not for any reason, it's just, I didn't have the money, you know, about.
So you just kind of stop. I mean, not necessarily. You go to your Walmart.
There's like 2 boxes, you know, but 2 boxes.
So you bought 1 box at one Walmart, and 1 box.
Yeah.
Do you remember which Walmarts they were?
No, but they're all around Columbia, I know that. They're all around Columbia.
Did you use a credit card or pay cash for it? Do you remember how you paid for the bullets?
I'm going to tell you.
Couldn't tell.
So, now.
The conference room still registering? Okay.
I'm kind of going back to what you mentioned before when you left. You're not even shocked. Hey, the police didn't show up. I'm alive. I didn't have to kill myself. Because that's what you were going to do when you came out, right? And so you're like, where do I go? And you drove all over to you decided to come to Charlotte.
Right.
And why did you decide to come to Charlotte?
I don't know, you know, just the names, and just wanted to come to Charlotte. It was sort of close, you know, not too far away. I should have a lot of gas. Obviously, I didn't use my debit card at the gas station. Because I had a big track. But obviously, I did use my debit card eventually.
Would you use it?
I just said ATM. Because I had to get more gas.
How much cash you get? Cash. You got cash on the ATM, right?
Yeah, I only got $20.
And then you went and got some gas?
Yeah.
Where at?
It was a chunk.
Okay, now, then you go out this way to Shelby. When they stopped you, were you driving or were you?
Yeah.
And so they pulled you over? What did you think? What went through your head?
Oh, well, I knew they were going to get me eventually anyway.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for them.
Where was the gun? Did you take out?
No, the gun was in the back seat.
Oh, no. But by that time, you said, I guess I'm not allowed to kill myself, right?
Right, I had already decided that it was just a bad idea.
Yeah. Did you, when the policeman pulled you over, obviously you didn't want to do it. I mean, you decided not to have to stick to the vote, right? Okay. Did you say anything to the policeman when he pulled you over and he walked up to the car?
Oh, I didn't say anything. Just like, you know, put my hands on the wheel, that's it.
He didn't tell you why he was stopping you? I don't know. He knew why he was stopping you. Yeah. But, did you tell him I did it, or do you remember saying anything like that?
No, I didn't say anything like that. They just said, you know, are you connected to what happened? And something like that. You know, just said yes.
Okay. And then you said you told them the guns in the car.
Right, they said, is there anything in the car? And I said, yeah, the guns in the back seat.
Where were you headed to when they stopped you?
Well, that sounds sort of weird. I was going to try to go to Nashville.
Nashville? Why Nashville?
Why not?
Yeah.
No reason. I've never been to Nashville. It was so far away. I didn't know if I would make it.
So you really didn't have a good escape plan because you didn't think you'd make it out.
There was no escape.
Had you thought about going, hey, I can get some more bullets and go shoot some more people?
No, I was worn out.
How did it make you feel afterwards? I mean, it's got to be a lot of adrenaline, right? Driving back.
Yeah. Really not an adrenaline.
Are you glad you did what you did? And do you think it's on the message you wanted to send?
I really couldn't tell you. I have no clue whether it's in a message or not.
But how do you feel personally about it? Are you glad you did it?
I'm glad I did it. You know, I've done it. So.
You said it was something you had to do.
Yeah, I had to do it.
If you could back up, would you do it again? I mean, that's how strongly you felt about this issue, right?
Well, at the moment, you know, if I could back up to where I was just still sitting at the table thinking about walking out, I might walk out if I could lie. But,
Yeah. It did. So, what is your thought about those people, though? I mean, I think you kind of alluded to it earlier. In your mind, they're innocent people, right? I mean, they're clearly church-going people. They're in a Bible study.
well, I'm trying not to really think about it.
But I mean, I guess the question would be, is it because they were black? That really kind of opened the road everything else, because you had to send that message.
Well, it's like this, you see. I'm not in the position, behind myself, to go into like a black neighborhood, or something like that, and shoot up, drug dealers or something like that. You see what I'm saying? That's not going to do. You see what I'm saying? I had to go somewhere else. You see what I'm saying?
So, what you said, you had to go somewhere where you can shoot some people without getting shot. I mean, that right?
Even if that's not necessarily that, like, say a black drug dealer would have shot me, but say I would have shot him, that's only one person. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so it wasn't the fact that you could have shot him and he might have shot you. It was the fact that you knew I could shoot more people. Like you alluded to it, or you said earlier. Like, there was several people in that room. Do you wish there would have been more people in there? I mean,
no, because like I said, if that was the case, I would have shot everybody in there. You see what I'm saying? Afterwards, it's just like, that's why I didn't shoot the other lady. I could have, but I didn't.
Do you remember telling that lady, I'm going to let you live so you can tell my story?
Yeah, I remember saying that, but I didn't really know the story.
What did she say to you when you said that?
I don't think she said anything.
But I guess you said that, right? You cut in, you thought you were going to walk out the door, and probably, you didn't think you was going to leave that alive. Neither alive.
I didn't really know anything. I didn't hear anything out there, but, I thought they probably had nothing.
The police.
Right.
And did you buy all those magazines at one time when you got the gun? Does two usually come with it, or did you buy the spare people pick them up as you had money?
Yeah, I just picked them up as I had money.
Did you give them a shooter's choice also, or?
I think I got the most of the shooter's choice, but I might have got a couple somewhere else. But I think I got most of the shooter's choice.
So you remember filling out the 4473, that form? They see that form, you fill out to get the gun, and you put all your information on there, and all that and everything. Okay. And so, is that the only gun you have?
Yes.
It's the only gun you've ever owned?
Right.
And did you carry that, get that with you, or where did you keep that gun before last night?
Oh, I had it with me in my car.
Right, but normally, did you always drive around with it, or did you like keep it at the house?
Well, for the past, week or two, I had it in my car.
Is that because you were at any time ready to go, or?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you purchase that weapon for the very purpose than what you did last night? Was that the reason you purchased the weapon?
No, I wouldn't say that. I just wanted a gun.
Right. How long ago was it, would you say, that you actually, just so I can backtrack, I don't want to keep having to go over the same stuff over and over again. I'm just trying to understand, make sure I understand correctly. You see, you really never thought about a lot of this stuff until roughly the Trayvon Martin incident, correct?
Yes.
So when you saw that, you got upset, and you started doing some research on the computer, and you didn't like the statistics that you saw. That was roughly 2 years ago or so. You seem very well versed and very well educated on, black on white crime or white on black crime, this, that, and the other. So you've done quite a bit of research. Is that safe to say?
Oh yeah, I know a lot more stuff I can talk about, but
Like what kind of stuff?
I mean, just everything. I can't think of it now. Yeah, what you're saying, yeah.
Sure. Did you read a lot? Did you read books or watch videos or watch movies or YouTube or anything like that specifically about that subject matter?
No, it's pretty much just reading articles.
Reading articles?
Yeah.
And the more you read, the more.
Also, I've seen the videos, white people vegan and stuff like that. But,
Well, and Stan, for example, like, did you wear black clothes and stuff a lot? And it was kind of like.
I had black suit. That's a nice color for gloves.
Yeah. Good to you, right? Where's that? Is that
This is in Charleston.
in Charleston? Who took the picture?
We can set it up on this post.
Well, on that.
No,
Right
yeah,
here,
right
the
here,
post right here.
right.
Okay, when was this picture taken?
Then 2000, it could have been 2014, I'm not really sure.
So then what, when you went down there before, and checked the church out?
Oh, no, I think I've been in Charleston a bunch of times.
Okay, so you get the shit you like, then you just go, that jacket right there, that's not the jacket you were wearing last night.
Oh, no, I was just wearing a long sleeve shirt.
Was it a black long sleeve shirt?
No, it was gray.
Great, okay. What are those patches right there?
No, but that's the old South African flag, and that's the Rhodesian flag.
Almost like the flag we're back on.
Yes.
Okay.
Rhodesia
And everybody,
and South Africa.
so the whole back when apartheid and back when it was a British colony, South
Right, and
Africa.
that's the apartheid flag. And then Rhodesia, that was a country in Southern Africa, right above South Africa.
Was that their flag back when it was controlled by white?
Right now it's Zimbabwe.
Okay, but the white that's out, white people control.
Right.
What is?
No, that's just, I got that jacket at Google, that's just like a Richland County academic laws
Oh,
Did those badges come on that jacket when you got it, or did you find out what on there?
I won.
So what was what is the reason why you chose those of all the badges? You could have chose, why did you choose those two badges?
Because they represent white people ruling in the homeland of Africans and ruling as minorities.
Ruling as minorities?
Yeah, that's powerful.
Come here. You get that mean look on your face in those pictures.
No, I don't think it looks good.
Was that, I mean, you're not smiling, but you're trying to, I mean, or is that just, you know? Well, yeah.
Well, that's 1488. You guys probably know what that is.
Why don't you explain to me what that means?
14 stands for we must secure the existence of our people and the future of white children, and 88 stands for Hail Hitler.
So would you consider yourself a neo-Nazi then?
No, because, I think to be considered a neo-Nazi, you have to be part of a movement or something.
Do you disagree with what Hitler did? Do you support Adolf Hitler? You're saying Hail Hitler in that statement there.
Right. No, I support Hitler.
And where was this? Is that in this?
But that's what Sullivan's
Okay, did you drew that in there?
Yeah, I just do that.
Wait, how long ago was that thing?
Yeah, that's where it was.
So all these would have been at the same time frame, you think, or?
Yes, actually, I think they were.
Can you explain to me again what that 1488 means? Because I never wrote it that
we must secure the existence of our people and the future of white children. That's the 14 words, and then 88 stands for Hail Hitler because it's HH.
And who came up with the 1488 slogan? Do you remember the name of the person?
I know you know who it is. His last name Lane.
Who was he though? Do you don't know his
Oh,
name?
no, I don't know anything about him. I just heard his name first. I saw his name.
Yeah.
But he just came up with 14 words.
Right.
He came up with 88.
And do you identify with and agree with what those numbers represent?
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you believe that your actions last night, I mean, that'll make you a martyr amongst people of similar beliefs? I mean, was that kind of your goal, to become a martyr? I mean, if you're thinking you're going to kill yourself, that's kind of what a martyr does, right? For the cause.
That would be nice, sure, but I don't really think that's what would happen in my life. See what I'm saying?
I mean, did you want people to know who you were and what your cause was? Or were you trying to bring this cause?
Yes, I'd say so.
So, can you tell me about this?
Oh, that's just a DVD next week.
Well, I know that. I read the back of that, and you obviously watched the movie. What was this movie about?
This word is skinhead in the 80s, 82. It's not really that. It's not really like a real racist name or anything like that. It's more just he's just a delinquent, pretty much.
Well, it talks about the skinhead who's random acts of racism, vandalism, and violence.
Right, but if you watch it, you know nothing about it.
No. What about American History X? You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen it.
What are your thoughts on that movie?
That's an okay movie, but you know, it's got an anti-white ending. You know, you say the only reason they think it's funny because that's a good movie, you know, but at the end of the movie, the only reason they give for you not to be a skinhead is because it's bad to go around with so much hate in your heart. That's literally the reason they give. That's the only counter reason they have.
Right. So in the movie, when Edward Norton's character went to prison and changed his ways and saw that people are, you know, everybody's kind of the same on the inside, no matter what their skin is on the outside. Everybody has the same struggles that they just may not, you know, I don't know what a black man's struggle is, just like he really doesn't know what my struggle is. You know, we all have our own things we go through in life, you know. So in that movie, I mean, that's the whole point, right? So you're saying the way it turned out when Edward Norton comes out, he now realized he was wrong. You're saying he should have come out and realized he wasn't wrong. Right? That he should have.
There wasn't, you know, it's just
yeah,
right. There's a lot of symbolism behind movies, like in the beginning of the movie.
Like at the beginning of the movie, the first part of that movie is great.
Why is that great?
Because, you know, it shows him being, you know, in the beginning of the movie, I don't know, it's just, that's an okay movie. I don't really like it.
Yeah, check.
Kind of going back, like you said, kind of going back to how to stick around him with this whole thing. Do you have any remorse?
Oh, I think it's too soon.
What about regrets?
Yeah.
What do you regret?
Oh, that's, you know, I regret doing it a little bit.
A little bit. But part of you was glad you did it. Still, I mean, I kind of sense that from you, right? I mean, part of you, so you're proud. I mean, you're proud. Part of it,
like I said, I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. You know, I don't
What do you mean by that?
I don't know how many people were killed or anything.
And how many do you think anybody died? I mean,
I think.
Or do you
Yeah,
know?
I think somebody died.
I mean, how do you know? I mean, you would know.
No, for sure.
That's what you know. I mean, did you shoot anybody in the head?
No, I don't think I did.
Was it all?
Intentionally, I didn't. I mean, I intentionally didn't shoot anybody.
Were you aiming down the sights, or were you just shooting? Pointing and shooting, you know,
Right, I was just pointing. But I didn't aim anybody's head.
Getting back to this question, if I were to tell you that yes, there are dead people, do you regret that? Or mission accomplished, you said it was something you had to do. So it's serious. I mean, it's kind of one or the other, you know.
No, it isn't one or the other. It isn't.
Well, what I'm saying is, I mean, your mission wasn't just to shoot people. It was to kill a lot of people. Right? I mean, 45, go out 45, everyone knows that's the handgun if you want to take care of business. I mean, that does the job, right? That's why you bought that handgun.
Well, yeah, when I got a gun, I wanted to get the biggest caliber.
Biggest caliber, and the Glock, that was the most bullets for 45. Maybe maybe 7 or more. No, you know, whatever. But they're good guns. I mean, the police carry those guns. I mean, it's good gun. But like your mission, your plan that you had established and decided you wanted to do, well, it was to kill black people. As many black people as you could in one location.
So, well, that was the original idea. But like I said, when I got in there, it was not really about how many I could kill anymore. You see what I'm saying?
What was it about?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like, you know, after here and already shot people, it's like, I didn't believe you again, like I needed to shoot, everybody, you see what I'm saying?
Once again, it goes back to what we said while we were part of that. You thought you were probably going to die, and someone could tell the story. But,
that's more really an excuse. Yeah, it's not really, it's really that I just didn't want to kill it. So, see what I'm saying?
So if I told you 9 people died last night, how would that make you feel?
I wouldn't believe you.
It was not.
There wasn't even 9 people there.
It was just a little bit over 9. But it's hard when you're looking at the tables and you have people.
You said when you went in there, you said a good 6, 8, you really weren't certain,
Are you guys alone too?
No.
8 people were dead at the scene. 2 were rushed to the hospital, so I guess it was 10 people were shot. Actually had gunshot injuries, it's my understanding. The 9th person died in the hospital, but 8 people were dead on the scene. They shut up. So how do you feel?
In all honesty.
Well, it makes me feel bad.
But also, but as Craig said, your mission was to kill black people. How many you killed black people?
You said earlier that you, just to recap, for watching the Trayvon Martin, you got upset, you started doing research. You said you could have done it in Columbia, you chose not to. You picked out that particular church because of the historical meaning behind the church. You actually drove out to the church. There was a black lady, you said, getting into her car as you were walking by, and you found out there was going to be a Bible study there. So you knew that there was going to be a large concentration of black people at the study. You said you went into the study. So you thought about this, you finally made the decision, you had your weapon. You said maybe April or so, and you got the weapon. So now you had your weapon. You said you bought 2 different boxes of ammunition, possibly one Walmart, one at the other. So you didn't buy it all at one time, but you over 77 rounds over time you collected. You brought that weapon with you in a bag. You said you had X amount of correct me, was it 7 magazines? 8 magazines altogether. All right, you went into there. You went into the Bible study. You walked in through the door. You saw these 2 tables. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You drew 10 people. You sat right here at this table. You sat for about 15 minutes. Could have been 20. Could have been 10. And you said you just had to do it. You said so. You stood up. So you started shooting. You went back to the door. You told us that you fully anticipated after firing 77 rounds that law enforcement would have responded. You were fully anticipating that. And you said you kept an extra magazine, but you weren't going to use that magazine on the police. You were using it on yourself. When you looked outside, you saw the police weren't there. You were kind of shocked. You said, "Wow, geez, the police aren't doing their job." You specifically parked inside a gated area. You said you got into your vehicle. You started to drive. And you said you thought of Charlotte for some reason. So you drove to Charlotte. At some point in time, you said you used your card to get $20 out of the ATM. And then you needed more gas. And then you decided at the last second that maybe going out to Nashville might be a good idea because you'd never been there before. And you got stopped by the police. But the whole reason you did this, just so I understand correctly again, and you've already told it, I just want to make sure we understand you correctly, is that you never really thought about race relations until the Trayvon Martin incident. You did research, and you really started to irritate you because day after day after day after day in your mind, or what you perceive from watching the news, there's black and white crime, and it goes unnoticed, nobody cares, doesn't matter. And you actually quoted an FBI statistic on rape. You broke it down to about 2 rapes. Was it 2 rapes per day? Is that what it is? 2 rapes per state. 2 rapes per state per day. And that upsets you. And you basically said that when you went into the church, you had made your mind up that you had to do this. You said it had to be black victims, it had to be black, you were targeting black individuals because there's no skinhead movement anymore, there's no KKK movement anymore, and your whole goal was basically to do what? You said to kill black people. What was the reason? What was the reason? What would black because they're black, because you're sick and tired of what's black on white crime, and no one's paying attention to that. The lack of movement with the skinhead movement, the KKK. So you said you wanted to kill black people. Now that you did, what are your thoughts? What message do you want to be told to the public? What do you want people to remember Dylan Roof for?
It's tough, right? Thinking about the whole thing, when you go through, but knowing, and even before, I mean, you knew your actions when they killed people. You said you believe, at least probably one guy followed that. I think early on we said you shot 4 or 5. You thought maybe 4 or 5 people were dead. I mean, you didn't speak, but you knew when you left. When you were driving before you got stopped for 3 minutes, you were under the assumption you killed 4 or 5 people, right?
Yes, that's true.
But you're not from Dublin. It was not. So, I mean, you've done it. I mean, what do you think should happen to you?
I don't know how to answer that.
Well, I mean, I guess you're guilty. You wouldn't dispute that. You're guilty of killing the 9 people. Nobody else walked in there and picked up a gun and was with you shooting those 9 people. Or shooting people, right? It was just killing them, right? Right. So there's no...
Remember, why did he say he didn't know when they asked him what he thinks should happen to him? What happened to George Zimmerman for killing a black man who was unarmed? He saw George Zimmerman get away with it. He'd been watching white people all over this country get away with shooting and murdering black people and getting away with it. Yeah. Just listen.
Nobody helped you plot. There's no co-conspirator in this case. No one put you up to this. This was your plan. You schemed it. You did it, right? Right. Okay, so what is the result now of done it? So let's kill 9 people. What do you think? If you took black or white out of the issue, or let's say it, a black man walked into a church and killed 9 white people, what should happen then?
You already know the answer. Just tell us. I mean, I can see by the look at your face, you already have a thought. So what was your thought on that when he asked you?
Well, you should go down to I guess.
Well, and then I'm not sitting there saying, oh, you think you should die, because I think you thought you were going to die anyway to carry out this mission. But I guess what I'm asking, you've said it, I just wonder, are you guilty of this? Would you consider this a crime? Yes. And you're guilty. Will say it again?
I'm guilty. We all know I'm guilty. I don't know how to answer that.
Well, I mean, I guess you're guilty. You wouldn't dispute that. You're guilty of killing the 9 people. Nobody else walked in there and picked up a gun and was with you shooting those 9 people. Or shooting people, right? It was just killing them, right? So there's nobody helped you plot. There's no co-conspirator in this case. No one put you up to this. This was your plan. You schemed it. You did it, right? Right. Okay, so what is the result now of done it? So let's kill 9 people. What do you think? If you took black or white out of the issue, or let's say a black man walked into a church and killed 9 white people, what should happen then?
That's the question that all you who hate us so much and running around shooting down and murdering unarmed people because they're black. If it was on the other foot. If it was black people walking around shooting you down, what do you think should happen to them? We know the answer to that. Just a moment.
Maria making landfall in Puerto Rico earlier today as a Category 4 hurricane. You can see the wind, the rain, palm trees being blown from side to side, as well as sheets of rain coming down. And unfortunately, San Juan wasn't the only city in Puerto Rico or even in St. Croix to experience the wrath of Hurricane Maria. Let's go ahead and get you an update to date on what we know. The mayor of San Juan saying the entire island is without power and 90% is without water. There's also an island-wide curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. today until Saturday, and San Juan's airport remains closed until at least Friday due to flooding and debris. Now let's get to NBC's Gabe Gutierrez, who has an in-depth look at the destruction.
It showed little mercy. Tonight, Maria's destructive path is only starting to become clear. Swaths of Puerto Rico underwater, roads turned to raging rivers. Roofs ripped off, trees toppled, cars overturned, power out to virtually the entire island.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Me? Never.
This man says he feared for his life as the relentless storm slammed into his home this morning as a ferocious Category 4 hurricane.
The situation here in San Juan is dire, but winds here have been intensifying and the worst is yet to come. We have sought shelter in a concrete structure, but as you can see, it's a scene of utter chaos.
After dodging most of Hurricane Irma's wrath days ago, Puerto Rico and its 3.5 million American citizens bore the brunt of Maria for hours.
As the storm passed, we had a first look at the damage. Some homes obliterated, residents in shock.
It was really scary.
Maria, the strongest storm to ravage Puerto Rico in nearly a century, first sliced through the Caribbean. Overnight, Maria battered St. Croix, the largest of the U.S. Virgin Islands.
It's very scary. Wind with the noises going on you.
In St. Thomas, widespread flooding as residents were just beginning to clean up after Hurricane Irma's direct hit. The storm's trail of devastation leaving much of the remote island of Dominica in ruins. This aerial video, the first to emerge after Maria's fury cut off communications. Tonight, as Puerto Rico begins to assess its damage, many residents like Maria Aragon don't know if they'll have homes to return to.
How horrible is it to look around and see this island like this?
It's very sad. It's very, very sad. Very heartbroken.
An island without power and now seemingly without enough resources to cope with an unfolding disaster. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Gabe, thank you so much. And a reminder from Gabe's report that multiple islands have been impacted by this with serious and catastrophic results. Hurricane Maria is still impacting Puerto Rico right now. We're giving a lot of attention to Puerto Rico, but we do want to make sure that you understand that we know how bad it has been in the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. Croix, Dominica as well, Dominica. And we're seeing right now Puerto Rico with this Category 2 storm, maybe not getting the strongest winds right now, with the eye moving away from the land, but some of the heaviest rain is coming down. Here's the storm going back a couple days ago. And from Gabe's story we just saw, we're just now getting some of the pictures from Dominica, which is right here. And you can see this storm we're going to put into motion. That was Monday, 5 o'clock. And here it goes back out, getting stronger. Unfortunately, we're watching this getting stronger last night here on the Weather Channel. Then crushing St. Croix, St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands. And you can see this powerful storm with peripheral effects as well on some of the other leeward islands here. And what's going to come after this still remains to be seen. But we still need to get through the next night, and then the next day, and then the next day after that here in Puerto Rico. Major flooding ongoing right now. And unfortunately, the rain is still coming down, and it's still coming down in a big way. In fact, with record flooding happening right now, not just barely record flooding, we're talking feet and feet above the previous record.
Knowing that and seeing this is very scary for Puerto Rico. Still the potential for more than a foot of rain out of this. And again, seeing that happening in spots where rivers are at major flood and record flooding in most cases here. And then beyond that, we're going to take a closer look coming up at what are the chances that there could be some impacts to the mainland United States in the coming days. Still a very powerful storm and an ongoing situation right now in Puerto Rico. And we're live here on the Weather Channel. So dark hours and early morning hours here in Puerto Rico. This video of San Juan. However, what is scary at this time is the fact that it's not over. The eye may have left Puerto Rico, but the storm has not. Heavy rain is a massive concern right now. So with expert analysis, you will only find right here on the Weather Channel. We turn to Leona and Dr. Nat.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Dr. Nat. I mean, Hurricane Maria, it was devastating. I mean, there are no words. And we're going to continue seeing these horrible images coming out over the next several days. So, Dr. Nat, as far as where Maria is now, what can we expect now?
Well, we can expect the rain to continue over Puerto Rico. I mean, I think we're in the midst, right at this hour, of a flooding disaster in many portions of Puerto Rico. We don't have radar, but you can see those purple shades lighting up over the central part of the island. Those are the cold cloud tops of what are probably still some very strong rain bands. I mean, just because it's a Cat 2 hurricane and isn't what it was as a 4 or 5, it is still fully capable of dumping tremendous amounts of rainfall. So we not only had a lot of rain, we have ongoing flooding right now, but there's more rain to come. So we can kind of show you how this is setting up. With the rain that's already fallen now, we already have numerous river gauges that are at major flood stage. And so there are, because of that, and the additional rain that's still falling right now, numerous flash flood warnings. And you can see it with a close-up, again, without radar, it's really hard to tell where the strongest bands are, but I would venture to guess that if we had radar, we'd see a nasty band there and a number of nasty bands right in there with where those purple colors are on the satellite. And by the way, you're still getting some scenarios or something in between the U.S. a while, and then it just meanders in. Still off the New England coast. Slopes facing where the wind is coming from for a while as the hurricane departs. Now, Jose and Maria are still going to have an effect on one another. Jose, a tropical storm, still off the New England coast, moving northeast now, but it's not going to keep doing that. We haven't drawn a cone like this in a long time. It goes this way for a little while, and then it just meanders into the weekend here.
Yeah.
But this has an effect on Maria down the road because Jose is sitting in a weakness of the ridge relative to Maria potentially in one scenario that would bring Maria out to sea. So that's one way that Jose could keep Maria from getting to the east coast of the U.S. But if Jose goes just far enough north and there's just enough ridging in between the two systems, that could allow that ridge and the upper level low over the southeast U.S. to pull Maria into the east coast. But then most of the scenarios are...
The Holy Quran says, see they not that we are visiting the land, cutting it off of its sides. They showed you images of the sand and everything being eroded away from the beaches. That's going on right now. When have you seen hurricanes act like Harvey and Jose? I mean, they're not just passing through like storms normally do. They visiting, waiting on each other. And Allah pronounces a doom. Every place where you done ran off to thinking that you done found a safe haven, There ain't no safe haven. Ain't no hiding place. Allah gonna run you up out of there. The whole world now is in judgment. Which of you ever spoke up about the evil that's being done to my people here in America? And then whenever someone spoke up for us, you attacked them. What kind of people are you? You've seen some of these posts that people make against me. You would think that I had orchestrated some evil and hateful things against white people or against the world, because they find all these hateful things. They come in here, curse and swear at me because I speak out against the evils that's been done to me and my people. And nobody speaks up for us. You keep doing business with these wicked people who did this to us and who's doing this to us. All right. Like I said, this is the judgment day. You heard when the officer asked him if that had been a black man went in there and killed up some innocent white people. What do you think should happen to him? And he told him, you know what to say. You know what the first thing came to your mind. Say it. And then when we dare to tell you that, look, to you our lives don't matter, but to us they do. Well, all lives matter. As though we said that the rest of the people's lives don't matter. Because we tell you that our lives matter, that means that we don't think other people's lives matter? You don't seem to think our lives matter. You murder us and you pat each other on the back for it. All right. If we can go a little bit over, I'd like y'all to see that our lives do matter to Almighty God Allah.
Something in between where Maria finds a way to get through that weakness without coming ashore on the east coast of the U.S. So, having said all that, here's the forecast track that does not put the east coast of the U.S. off the hook yet.
Okay, and given all of your experience, that comes the widespread power outages. The Weather Channel's Paul Goodlow is there in San Juan with a closer look at the conditions.
So sitting here in San Juan, Puerto Rico, we're about, 12 hours or more now since landfall of Category 4 Hurricane Maria came through this area and laid waste to it as well. In fact, one of the victims right here, street side, ripped off this pole here. Now, look around. There is still a lot of debris, a lot of damage, not only from today, Maria, but also because of Irma a couple of weeks ago. We're staying at the Hyatt Place Hotel. We have a generator, but their sister hotel across the street, the Hyatt House, take a look. It's in the dark. Unfortunately, their generator has failed. So now they're pulling everyone out of that hotel because it's just not safe That means they have no running water anymore, no hot water, but no air conditioning. And again, as we head onto a swell, we're going to see a lot more sunshine. It is going to heat up again because, again, we're in the tropics. So the temperatures to be quite uncomfortable with humidity has cleaned up again the day after Hurricane Maria.
Thanks so much, Paul. And it could take weeks, if not months, for recovery across the island.
And we want to get right to our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knapp here, who joins us. And Dr. Knapp, we've already seen extensive damage to Dominica and St. Croix, St. Thomas, but we don't really know, and we don't know the full extent of any of those areas either right now. And it's still unfolding in Puerto Rico. What's the biggest unknown that you wish you knew right now when it comes to what's going on in Puerto Rico?
Well, because we still have rain falling, we know we have river gauges going way over their record levels in Puerto Rico. We don't know how bad the flooding is. We don't know how much destruction is occurring due to the flash flooding. And it's happening right now. So it may be some time before we know how many communities in Puerto Rico have experienced devastating flooding. But that is the fear right now in many portions of the island. This is not just San Juan we're talking about. We're talking about the numerous communities all the way from west to east and north to south in Puerto Rico that are still getting heavy rain even as we speak. Just because the center of the Category 2 hurricane is offshore to the northwest doesn't mean the event is over. Far from it. You're getting this southerly flow into the mountainous terrain of Puerto Rico, and we already, based on the rainfall that has already occurred, which is in feet, 2, 3 or more feet of rainfall in some spots, that we have numerous river gauges that are at major flood stage, and arguably some of them not operating fully anymore because they've just been topped of what their operational capability is, and we could be seeing catastrophic flooding. Closer look shows, even though we don't have radar functioning in Puerto Rico, the satellite imagery from GO-16, those really cold cloud tops, likely indicative of very heavy rainfall. And just to give you a sampling, we can't possibly list all of them out, but going across different parts of the island, over in Aguadilla, there was a flash flood warning in effect until 8:45 p.m. And then in the central part of the island, north central, just west of San Juan, this is the Rio de la Plata River Basin that includes Dorado here at the coast and Comerillo farther upslope. This is a flash flood emergency, and they can't really get a good handle on just how high the water has gotten along the river. They just know that it's indicative of potentially catastrophic flooding, and that's in effect till 8:15 local time, but that could eat.
Several inches of rain have already come down, and the rain is still coming down with a lot more to go. Hurricane Maria still raking Puerto Rico, and people in the U.S. Virgin Islands are somewhat in recovery mode. They have a lot to deal with as well.
Yeah, many spent the day cleaning up across the region. The storm was a Category 5 hurricane when it slammed St. Croix last night. Storm tracker Scott Peak joins us now on the phone in St. Croix. Sharing what it's been like in the hours following Maria. So thank you so much for joining us. What have you seen across the island?
Well, I took a 2-mile walk down to Frederickstead, and
Your doctor's annual check.
Why am I showing you all of these things? Because the worst is yet to come. That's why. Nobody helped us. Nobody even offered us help. And you turned a deaf ear when we asked for help. You just ignored us. And if somebody spoke up for us, you attacked them. It's like when poor Dr. Cosby made the mistake of standing up saying to our people, you need to emulate the black Muslims. He said we all need to emulate them. They protect their women. They educate their own children. What fault you found in that? The whole time that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here, and the only Muslims you knew of was the black Muslims, followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, members of the said Nation of Islam. You never used the term terrorists when referring to us. Then when people who call themselves Muslims started committing terrorist acts, why didn't you ask us, were they truly Muslims? Since the first Muslims you were introduced to in the Republic of America was the Nation of Islam. But you knew that that is not Islam. You knew it then and you know it now. Since when does the white man in America not know what terrorism is when he's been practicing it on us for 400 and some years? Look at the poor Congresswoman and Miss Maxine Waters. She says she's not afraid anymore to speak up. Anymore. That's what terrorism does to people. It makes them afraid. Afraid to even say thank you to somebody who helped them. If the terrorizer don't like that person who helped you, you better not say thank you to them or they'll come get you next. Tell you what, I know it's Wednesday, and it's something I wanted you to see before I turn you loose. Just a moment.
Category 4, Hurricane Maria.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Seeing figures like that all across the island. Pretty powerful system moving through.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us here on Hurricane Central. I'm meteorologist Chris Pruitt. And that was the footage of Puerto Rico just getting clobbered by, unfortunately, Category 4, Hurricane Maria.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Seeing figures like that all across the island. Pretty powerful system moving through.
Yes.
At 12 miles per hour. So that general northwest motion should continue here for us, at least in the near term. We do still have hurricane warnings that are up. The Virgin Islands as well as Puerto Rico, also the north coast here of the Dominican Republic, and then heading over towards the Turks and Caicos and even parts of the southern Bahamas as well, under hurricane warnings at this time. Where is it going to be headed? Well, again, I guess I mentioned towards the northwest, but then turning a bit more towards the north as we march our way on into the weekend and into the early part of next week. There is some time for it to try to re-strengthen a bit. Remember, it rolled its way over Puerto Rico, over mountainous terrain, disrupting it a bit. So it came down just a bit in terms of intensity, but there's going to be some time here as it moves back over the waters, warm waters, not a whole lot of shear in the near term for some slight strengthening. But as we move our way on through the weekend, expecting to see the shear levels on the increase, so we could be looking at a weakening system at that point. But here's what's going on right now. There's a buoy just offshore with 58-mile-per-hour winds. But look at the rest of the reporting sites. There's just nothing showing up just an indication of how strong this system was as it moved on through, destroying some of those areas. All right, so here we go with the tropical storm force winds. Looking for that to potentially here for us, the time will be the earliest as we continue down the line, getting into towards the Turks and Caicos. Looks like later tonight and into early tomorrow, that's what we could be experiencing, those tropical storm force winds. All right, we have not forgotten about Jose, which continues to look off the East Coast, Chris.
All right, that's right, Alex. Take a live look.
You'll notice he used the term continues to lurk. Visiting. It ain't gone. It's still hanging out there. See they not that we are visiting the land? Now watch what they tell you it's doing to the shoreline.
Here, or earlier, at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, as Jose is turning off the east coast, causing rough seas. And like you see here, you can see the waves have already eroded part of the beach, and coastal flood advisories are out for much.
You know what eroded means? Cutting it off. Washing it away. Curtailing it.
The East Coast as Jose makes its way northward. As of the
Look at that picture. Cutting it away. Curtailing it. You still say the word of God is a lie? Well, what you say about that? From the water that's on the sides of it. See they not that we are visiting the land? Curtailing it of its sides? And Allah pronounces a doom. All right. You heard what the officer asked Dylan Roof? He sat there and played dumb. But if a black man had did to white people what he did to them black people, he asked him, what do you think should happen to him? And to you Caucasian people that don't have no hatred in your heart for me or my people, I don't have any for you either. But to the rest of you, you got it coming and it's coming to you. Yeah. Any questions before I let you go? Anybody typing something? All right. And may Allah bless us all, keep us safe.
Well, man,
Yes.
yeah, I wanted to know, those hurricanes, are they going to eventually come in communities that people that look like...
Everything that I told you is coming is coming. I've already answered that question when I told you that it's not going to be skipping over communities just because your skin is black. Because your mind is just as wicked as the ones who, and there's proof of it. Look how you attacked me for just standing up, speaking up for us. And for demanding that you straighten yourself up. I know why you hate me, because you hate righteousness. That's why you hate me. And Allah told me that. If you are for right, then these storms and things ain't got no fear. You ain't got nothing to fear in these things. But if you hate righteousness, you got good reason to be afraid. Because Allah comes and he's angry and he's after everybody who hates him. He's going to get you out of his earth. He's going to put you out of his universe in the form that you are in. That's what he's ready to do now. Strike out of his universe most everybody who don't like him. Yeah. Okay. I know you don't believe it. You'll believe it when it hits you. So, may Allah bless all of us who fear him and are ready to keep his commandments. May he bless and keep us safe. May Allah's salam alaikum.
This session is no longer